want to be and the appropriate staff, we started looking at best practices. And so that comes in a number of different ways. Hiring practices. You can hire all you want, but can you retain? Can you retain? So what are the hiring practices? What are you doing for retention? What are the community practices? What are the community conditions? Looking at expanding opportunities internally, externally, to really look at the system, the systemic change. And so all these pieces that go into this is not a 5-month strategic plan to move to equity. But what this is starting to have this conversation. So the fabric of County X is around equity. So every decision that this county makes, and it doesn't matter who they are within this county, every decision that they make, whether if it's what pins to buy from what vendor, or it's who we're going to hire as the director of the VETS service program, whatever they're doing, however they're doing it with the equity lens. But that takes time and practice. That takes the individual looking at their own biases, understanding who they are and where they live in the bigotry and prejudice, but then is also looking at the institute, knowing that the institute was rooted in some institutionalized racism, and trying to work at reversing that. So County X has been working on this for about 9 years. They're still working at it. They trip up along the way, but they're dedicated. And it's starting to become the fabric of who they are. And their directors, their leadership reflects that now compared to 10 years ago. They often say we're not perfect, but together, working on their individual and on the systemic, they are moving forward. And right now, they're living in this place of progress, not perfection. Progress and not perfection. So those are just two very quick examples of when you start to be real about having these conversations, about knowing the history, about your individual role, we can start working at this institutional level to really change these major disparities. Because if not, we're going to continue to perpetuate and separate. And it just becomes the norm. So I'm going to just kind of stop there, but on respect of time. But I don't want to. Did I?
You good.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even give you a 5-minute warning.
Well, look, I wasn't even watching you, so look at that. So, but I can go into more detail if anybody has more thoughts around that. But I really wanted to show one quick example how simple, and sometimes they're not that simple when it comes to changes, but how changes can truly affect outcome, the intent versus the impact. And how it's, County X, 9 years. That's a lot of time to be talking about this. But we're on doing 101 years. So
I think the importance, though, is to continue to be open to change, because even though they're doing these things now, the world is still changing.
yes, and that's what they're